Boomer Sooner.
Hey, Sooner football fans. This is your Sooner football fans podcast. You got Terry and Rob here. Boomer Rob.
Sooner Terry.
And we are coming at you from the podcast palace in beautiful Norman, Oklahoma.
Where we are not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma.
But we do have eligibility left. But I don't think they need it. I don't think they need us right now.
We probably wouldn't be able to make the team, Terry.
Yeah. Even the way back and left out positions, I think, are taken on this team.
They're filled.
They're filled.
Yeah.
Guys, we got a great podcast for you. Before we get into it, we want to talk about our partners real quick. tailgatingchallenge.com. Go check out their website. If you like tailgating, or if you don't like tailgate, you want to buy stuff, look at stuff for, home tailgates, home watch parties. They basically test all this stuff out. Ice chests, stereos, tents, all this stuff. Go to tailgatingchallenge.com. And also our good buddy Dan Donnelly's company, Tailgate Connect. If you're going to be out of town, all the upcoming OU games, and you want to hook up with a tailgate, small fee, takes care of everything. You don't have to drag anything in. The hosting tailgate will take care of it for you. Go to tailgateconnect.com to reserve a tailgate spot. And of course, Demo's Smoke Shack. Check him out on Facebook, Demo's Smoke Shack. And OklahomaVersusTheWorld.com. You've seen the apparel. We've got a flag, the Oklahoma versus the World Apparel Company. Everybody hates Oklahoma, and Oklahoma hates everybody else. So you can show your support with that. Proceeds
because they ain't us.
They ain't us. That's right. But check out the website, Oklahoma versus the World. You can get t-shirts, hoodies, koozies, flags. Pretty cool little shop they have there. Oklahoma puts a thump down on the Nebraska Cornhuskers this weekend, 49-14. Were you shocked, Rob? Because you were anticipating a close game, if I recall.
Yep. And I stand corrected, and I'm glad I do. I definitely.
You don't mind being wrong on those occasions, right?
Well, I mean, all we really have to go on is what this team did last year.
Right.
And we let everybody and their dog in late.
Right.
I mean, we just didn't curb stomp anybody. We didn't finish games. We let Nebraska come back on us. Tulane almost beat us. I mean, Kansas, for God's sakes, if it wasn't for a miraculous play by he who would not be named, right? Yeah. Kansas beats us late in the game. So really, I mean, I know it's a new coach, it's a new attitude, it's new everything, and I just didn't know how much of that was going to affect us this third game. But I will say this: I was wrong, and I am thoroughly impressed.
Well, you were right to some point. Nebraska came out, jumped on us, but that was it. 77 yards of drive in like 6 minutes, and they got 70 yards the next three quarters.
Right. Defense did outstanding after the first drive, which I know probably everybody else was too. Had to be going, oh Lord, what is going on, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
don't know if you were saying
it's
that,
like I said, they came out on emotion. Even Venable said that they came out on emotion, and Oklahoma didn't handle it well. And I know it sounds weird, but we're not good at our base defense. You know what I mean? It seems like just that base, that three-man rush. Why? And I like what he said is the reason why we started off with the three-man rush. But dude, when they put that defense after that on attack mode, good God, it was.
And you know what? It took us a minute to kind of figure out what they were doing.
Yeah.
By that time, they had already scored, and I give them props for not giving up. And from that score on, man, they didn't give up anything.
Yeah,
nothing that I was ever worried about anyway.
Right. And I got to kind of give props to the Urban Meyer and old boy from Notre Dame. Can't think of his name now. It's on Fox when they brought them all up in the booth. But they were like, we didn't see this Oklahoma on tape. They were vanilla the first two games. This is a strong, fast, physical defense.
Are you talking about
And-
Urban Meyer, by the way?
Yeah, Urban Meyer said it, and then the kid, I can't think of
What
his
in Notre
name.
Dame?
He played at Notre Dame on
Oh,
the Fox
okay. My
crew.
bad. My bad. All right.
But you know, that this Oklahoma team is for real. You know, they picked Oklahoma to lose. And and I think it's just honestly, I think some of the national media they think so much more left than what left. You know what I mean? They think half the team left and all the great players left, and it flat out, that's not what happened. We still had, top recruits still in the system.
Yeah,
And
we did. But just think if we had those players from last year.
oh yeah,
Whew,
yeah,
my
because like
goodness.
we said in the last podcast, Dylan Gabriel is a good quarterback, but he is not Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is an outstanding athlete. He is literally carrying USC right now on his shoulders. And if anybody thinks anything different than that, you're crazy. That's
Well, and let's be honest, Dylan Gabriel did not have a great game.
oh no, he did not. And he even
I
said
mean, he had some good passes in there. Like that one pass to Jalil Farouk.
yeah.
Man, that was big.
Theo
That was big
Weiss,
time.
that Theo Weiss pass that split the receivers.
But he had some passes that were not great.
Yeah, he was high, and I watched an interview with him this morning.
He was really high.
He was really high. No, he was off target high, and he let too many balls float on him. I don't, he said he knew what was causing it, and he's going to fix it. I know what I was doing, and let balls float a little bit. Oh, okay. Side note, real quick. I know you're not watching the NFL that much, but have you heard about Kyler Murray?
Watched it.
62-yard 2-point conversion.
Watched it. Yeah, that was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
Ran 6
in overtime.
Yeah. But anyway, back on the
They picked up a fumble, by the way. Wasn't an extra point. They picked up a fumble.
Oh, they picked up. I thought they said it was an extra point. I didn't see it. I was listening to it on the radio. And I guess one of the radio calls was somebody was yelling, "Somebody helping!" One of the radio announcers, "Somebody help him!" But anyway, the running game, the offensive line showed up. They were blowing holes. You and I could have ran through those holes. I mean,
yep, they did good. They did good. They're going to get better. How about that? They're going to get better. I think. I hope.
Yeah.
Nebraska had what I feel like is a prototypical professional defense and offensive line.
Yeah.
Great, big, strong kids. And
they just got manhandled. The offensive line
did
just
well against them.
Yeah. I mean, it's big gaps. Eric Gray, huge game. Eric Gray had some moves this weekend. Yeah. You see, he juked that safety. Literally,
broke his ankles. Yep.
I saw something where they said, he juked him into another universe because he just, and it was a small little bump, and away he went. I mean, the guy just bit on it.
So he's earning my respect because from day one I've been saying I don't think he's the guy.
Yeah,
but he's slowly I'm slowly coming around to him.
Yeah, he had Eric Gray had 11 carries for 113 yards, average only 10.3 yards a carry. So that's got to get him a little bit better, I think.
Yeah, if not, he's going to the bench.
Yeah. Javonte Barnes, 13 carries for 77 yards. Dylan Gabriel showed he had some wheels.
Honestly, I was pretty worried about that game until he broke that one, and I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah,
I'll sit down and play some ball now.
I hope people can't hear this on one of the videos on the website I'm looking at was playing. So hopefully you didn't hear all.
I can't hear it.
Okay, so yeah, but what was it? As long was 61-yard touchdown, and looked like he was giving up to go out of bounds. And I guess he saw that little, well, hey, I can cut it back a little bit, and But
He doesn't have blazing speed, but he was quick enough.
yeah. Well, and they asked him about his speed, and he goes, I would, I guess he goes, I was not a runner in high school. And he goes, and they said, was this your longest run? He goes, probably. So, real quick, so everybody can see, I'm sporting my Iron Maiden Oklahoma Sooners t-shirt. So those of you who don't think they're out there, you got to find them. But Marcus Major, 12 carries for 35 yards.
Yeah, but most of his were just beating him right down the middle.
Yeah.
When they knew we weren't going to pass.
Yeah. Marvin Mims, 4 receptions, 66 yards. Farouk, 3 for 58. Theo, 2 for 46 and a touchdown. Farouk had a touchdown as well. Marcus Major had 1 for 24 yards and a touchdown. Drake Stoops had 3 for 32. Man, just there's a lot of stats on this sheet. So,
well, they ran like 80 plays, didn't they?
Yeah.
Something like 80 plays. Or am I thinking of different? I may be thinking, I don't know.
Well, let's see. They had 30. Oklahoma had 30 pass plays and 95 plays. So, Oklahoma had 580 yards of total offense, 268 in the air, 312 rushing.
Which is what we expected.
Right. 5.8 yards per carry.
Everybody ran up on Nebraska. So
yeah. 19 to 30 passing, 8.9 yards per pass. Penalties 6 for 65. That's another thing I don't think we've talked enough about. This team has not been. Remember the last couple of years, we were getting 9, 10, 12 penalties a game this time of year, even into the late part of the year. Team is very disciplined.
Very disciplined. Very in shape, I think.
Yeah. But there was just so much, like we talked about on the golf course today. Cautiously optimistic. I think both you and I are.
I mean, they look good now. They've got to go out and prove it against Kansas State and against Texas and against Oklahoma State, right?
I think the fan base is all that way. All the Sooner fans are that way because we've been brainwashed into what we had the last 5 years. We didn't know. We knew we were good, but we were like, man, there is a lot of gaps in that defense all the time. We can't stop anybody. I mean, for 5 years, like we said, we were slowly becoming Texas Tech. Of the Mike Leach era. We're gonna score 60 points, but you're gonna score 55. We're just gonna outscore you, and you can't win. You can't win like that.
What I heard somebody say that if this was the old regime, Lincoln Riley, we probably would still won, but it would have been 65 to 48.
Yeah, right. Exactly. This team. What?
We haven't said it yet. We could have scored 65 just.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
And I don't, I mean, they put the backups in, halfway through the third, and
we called off the dogs. No doubt.
Yeah, which is, and that's something the old regime didn't do either. They kept
we couldn't afford to.
Yeah. Yeah.
We call off the dogs if they're going to score 48 or, 50 points on you.
Right. True. Good point. But they, and I think that's where we're at as a fan base. It's just like we want to believe that, oh man, this team is really good. But then we're like, ugh, if I believe that, our heart's been broken the last 5 years of getting that close every year.
Yeah.
And just not good enough athletes, but really not coached good enough.
Especially defensively.
Right, especially defensively. And not enough focus, not enough emphasis on that, not enough emphasis being strong and dominating.
Physical.
Yeah.
They weren't a physical team last year or the year before that.
Well, and this is the same guys last year on defense that were missing tackles all the time. you know, arm tackles or getting ran through, being out of position. And all of a sudden they're disciplined. They make tackles. They
So we
wrap
thought
up.
it was the players, right?
Yeah.
Why is this kid not doing,
Yeah.
why is Perry on Winfrey not just killing everybody? And it's because they had him out of position.
Yeah.
They had him out of position.
Right. And, you know, it's like, you know, Venable said in his press conference, you know, you got to practice physical to play physical. We start every practice. He called it some deal, but it's a trench drill. They're out there working on being physical. We're going to, you know, and, you know, we've said it before. These are athletes. These are collegiate athletes. And you think, oh, you know, we're going to run these kids off. People are, you know, if you work them too hard, these kids, the best athletes in the world want to be worked hard. They want to get better. And these kids, and I think it's evident when you look on Twitter and you see the defensive players the last couple of years tweeting out, imagine if we'd have had this, if we'd have had BV. Imagine what we would have done if we'd have had BV. They all see it. They see the discipline, they see the fire, they see all of that, and they're going, that's what we were lacking. We weren't coached up like this.
Right.
So, but what else happened in the game? Any,
it's hard to point out just one area because they did well in, I think, all phases of the football game. Like, I was impressed defensively after the first drive. Defensively, I was like, man, these guys, they're all hitting, they're all tackling, where there's no missed tackles downfield where a guy's running for 50.
Yeah.
The coverages were there. The young guys, when Deshaun White went out, Knack came in, and it's like, well, yeah, is he going to be in the right spot? And, man, he is a beast.
Yeah.
That
well,
kid's
and
gonna be good.
I still love what Venables said. He's a freshman. He don't know what he's doing out there, but he's natural. You know what I mean? And he goes, we're going to coach him up. He's going to see in the films where he made the mistakes. But when you're obviously a freak athlete like him,
right?
The freak, imagine when he gets a year under his belt and he's the starter and he's not out of position, not having to make up lost ground. Imagine
I'm telling you, mark it down right now. That's our next Buckus.
Oh yeah, he is going to dominate.
It's gonna be good.
Stutzman's
just a sophomore.
Yep.
So I mean, we're going to be loaded up there pretty deep.
And I mean, just what we got coming in, defensive line, defensive end. Man, this team's going to be good for a while.
So if I'm being honest, Terry, and I know this is a little bit of a sidetrack, I feel like we can play with anybody in the country right now.
Oh,
I don't know that we're on Alabama or Georgia's level, but we're close. We're closer than we have been.
Yeah. And
we're going to be.
I think when crunch time comes, we're trying to be like Coach Venables and just go day by day, week by week. But I think the way this coaching staff is coaching them and how they're getting better progressively, I think when the time comes, we're going to be able to play with them and may be able to beat them, because again, even some of the national media sees this game and went, whoa, okay. These are, they're playing against big guys, guys that can get into the NFL, a true, as they put it, true Division I team, and just dismantled them.
Yeah.
I mean, just overwhelmed everything Nebraska tried to do. They could not do it. We got
a home game right against Kansas State, who lost a pretty bad game.
Yeah.
But then we're going to be in Dallas 2 weeks in a row.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. TCU and Texas.
So they're going to be going to Dallas for 2 straight weeks. I wonder if they're just going to stay there. You think
they might take a page out of,
State's book.
Yeah. We have 4 sacks on Sunday. We're the number 5 team in sacks in the country right now. Huh. Wow.
Amazing.
Number 2 tackles for loss, but really the team, James Madison is number 1, but theirs is based off of 2 games. So we're actually number 1. We're the number 48 rushing defense, and that's going to be getting better. and we're number 35, Rob, in total
Defensively overall, 35.
Yeah, 35.
Man, we can't be mad at that.
Yeah, and it's going to get better. I mean, like, Venables even said, you can't win a championship without a top 10 defense.
Right.
And they're going to get there. I mean, I think
I mean,
as this season goes on, those numbers are going to continue to get better.
I hope so. You could say a lot about Nebraska. They're not very good, right?
Right.
But offensively, they're not bad.
Yeah, well,
Not bad.
We were talking during the game. Nebraska scored 40 points a game. 40, they lost 2 of those games, but they scored 40 points a game.
Right.
You know,
I mean, I was a little sad that they scored that late touchdown.
Yeah.
But
I mean, come on. I mean, all that is, it just hurts. I think everybody that saw the game knows, hey, it is what it is, but I mean, it's crazy how, and also another thing, we're the number 15 rushing offense. And thing I like, I know, even Ben will say, stats don't lie, but this team is moving up every week in all these stats, Rob, every week. And
one stat that you didn't talk about, Terry, that is staggering from last year's team to this year's team is right now.
I know what you're going to
say.
You
know what I'm going to say. Right now, we got more punt return yards through 3 games than we had all of last season.
Yep.
And in fact, I think we had more punt return yards in the Nebraska game than we had all of last season.
Yeah, that's crazy. And and that's just,
Listen, we need to go out to LA and fire his ass just for that stat alone.
Yeah,
just for that.
And everybody asked, even last year's, why, when the fair catch rule on kickoffs came into play, we quit returning kickoffs. Well, it's, statistically, we end up on the 25. We're going to end up on the 25. We're not going to get any better than that. So
listen, it's
play the
sissy.
stat. Yeah,
it's sissy.
Yeah, instead of going, yeah, but every, 4 or 5, you're going to break out there for 40, 50 yards, maybe. Instead
of the house,
we're going to play from the 25 every time. They just accepted that. And that's not coaching. That's not coaching special teams. That's not an emphasis on special teams. There's, and
well, they could do so much for momentum. If you take one to the house, man, that just fires everybody up, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I love what Venables did. Have you got to listen or watch any of his press conference after the game? And he's different, but he's got some Switzer in him, some of those little sayings, that kind of pop out of nowhere. And he was talking about it, and he goes, they came down, and they scored, and the volume got loud, but we control the volume. We turned it down. And I was like, oh my God, that is brilliant. We control the volume. We turned it down.
When you go into the end zone, you just.
Yeah. So, and then, and even Joel Klatt, and when he said it, and Joel Klatt tweeted it out, the best quote he's had, and I think he said from any coach, he goes, that I've ever interviewed, was championship rings don't fit on smooth hands.
I love that saying.
And even Urban Meyer was like, ooh, that's a saying. And yeah, it requires work, and a lot of work.
Did you hear what Boz said before the game?
No, I didn't.
You didn't hear what Boz said?
Uh-uh.
They said, what's your greatest memory of playing here in Nebraska? He said, winning.
That's
winning.
That's it.
But then he followed it up to say, because it's not easy to do here.
Yeah.
Or at least back then it wasn't. Back then it definitely wasn't.
Well, I mean, and again, we've said it before, hats off. I mean, I hate it for the Nebraska fans because, even, T-Row's little pregame intro thing, a rivalry of respect, and 2 guys that were polar opposites, Tom Osborne and Barry Switzer, but, have always been very good friends. Tom Osborne, what he was a senator for a while, very, cerebral. And, we got the bootleggers boy who would run his mouth, but it was,
put 50 on you.
Yeah. And, you've been around Nebraska fans, and they're good people. They're good fans. They respect us. They respect us as a fan base. And hats off to them, because that stadium was full until the fourth quarter. It started emptying out in the, at the end of the third quarter, and they weren't booing. You know what I mean? There was no booze. They stood there and they took it. I mean, only other way to put it is they took it with their team. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, this is our team. We're going to stand here and take it with it. But that
they
crowd,
stayed.
they stayed, and that crowd was amazing. I mean, it was those first two series were just deafening.
I think that stadium's pretty amazing, to be honest with you.
It's kind of weird when you really look at it, because they built onto it so much. It's kind of like a Lego, it's like,
that's what ours is going to look like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they approved $300 million or something for the Upper West Side.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty freaking cool.
It's going to be pretty fancy. But no, I feel, because we were there in the 90s, I mean, we went through it. Several people said it afterwards, why they got rid of Bo Pelini. He had 1 9-win season. The rest of his seasons were 10-win seasons. And
well, here's the thing. They're a blue blood program. I still consider Nebraska a blue blood program. If we won 10 games every year, but we never could get past that, we'd be a little bit disgruntled about it. We want to win, and so do they. Yeah. So I mean, I understand it, but now they're suffering the consequences for some pretty bad coaching hires. Yeah,
and for pretty bad coaching fires, because I think Pelini was a bad fire. I mean, I know you want to get some, but I mean, maybe you sit down and give me more. I don't know. I mean, when they were relevant, at least, you know what I mean? Nebraska football is irrelevant right now.
Yeah, well, they lost to Georgia Southern. It don't get much worse than that.
True.
Unless you're Texas and you lose to
Kansas, or you're Texas A&M and you lose to Appalachian State. So,
man, that was so nice.
Yep. And I gotta put a shout out to our lovely Sooner Lisa for allowing us to get her login ID, and so we can get on to watch the Longhorn UTSA game.
Wait, let me get this straight. She has a Longhorn Network account.
Well, you know who she works for. She has everything.
I'm pretty sure that's against law, Terry.
Yeah. Here I am. Lisa, I'm thanking you. Be mean to Rob.
I'm gonna come over and do a citizen's arrest. That's against the law.
And she tweeted out that, an FYI, David, Caleb, Eli, Terry, David, Caleb, and Eli are assholes. And I was not involved in all the barking at her over the phone. Teresa had called her, and they were, they may or may not have had some alcoholic beverages in them. And you know how Caleb can get when he's really wanting something. He's like, and they were good-heartedly ribbing her as they were really pretty much sauced. But I wasn't involved in it, Lisa. I was sitting there on the couch, kicked back. But we did get and started watching the Texas game. All I can say is the Texas Longhorn Network game guys that call the game for the TV are the worst I've ever heard in my life.
Did they ever say we're back?
It was just brutal. I mean, no wonder that network has failed. It was terrible. And you would expect homerism. You'd expect, if we had an Oklahoma network and Toby Rowland was calling but it's not even good. It was, but
I can't imagine.
This is the UTSA. That's a Roadrunner. I knew there was something. Right. That's a Roadrunner, and they actually, I think, go meep meep. So meep meep. They have a Twitter account that's like the Meep Meep Squad or Meep Meep Squad, or but
And
I'm sorry, I couldn't stand around and go me me, go guys, me me. I could. I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah, if you had a pink shirt, you'd be great.
Yeah, but
Laughing.
no, but you know, they Texas won that game. They you know, they what's the word I'm looking for? Fought off the onslaught because it was 17-7, I think, at one point in time.
Yeah.
And stayed, you know, ended up winning, I think 30-7, 31-7. So but
17.
that October game, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be,
Oh, it always is.
yeah, it's gonna be something.
Are we going to that, by the way?
I doubt I am.
I want to.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, right now tickets are insane, and hotels, you know, Randy, our golf buddy, Donna, his wife, said that she was looking and she's like, the hotels are ridiculous right now. And I think he said tickets, the cheapest he found were like $300. And I was like, well, if you don't buy them now, by game weekend, those are going to be $600. So they will go up. But yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I think we're going to cook, you know, have the old chili here again. And
I
but
rode my motorcycle down last year. So Scotty flew in
yeah,
and called. He said, "Hey, can you pick me up at the airport?" And I said, "No,
no,
no, I can't."
you're not a very
No.
good friend, Rob.
I know.
Yeah.
Just couldn't do it, man. Just couldn't do it.
You could have put a wig on him.
Hey, back when we was kids and we did that, you know, on bicycles, we call it pumping.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm pumping.
Yeah,
No,
but
I'm sorry,
yeah,
I'm not pumping you. We're too old for that.
I'm not going to pump you. And
Not doing it.
the fact that we use that term now as we look at it as an adult, you know, Rob, you want to pump? Sure. No, I'm good.
Oh, now that we're corrupt and
Yeah. But you know what? We did all that and we did not die.
didn't die. Did
Did
not
not.
die.
You know, I mean, not only did we pump them on the back, did you ever ride on the handlebars and
Oh yeah. Yeah, on the spoke. Yeah,
Yeah.
did all that. Did it on
Yeah.
a motorcycle too, which was dumb.
Which is why you should be dead now.
I
But
mean, it's a wonder I didn't die
oh yeah, yeah.
because we thought, hey, because I lived on a farm.
Yeah.
Let's ride this motorcycle through this ditch and see if we can jump that tractor. I don't recommend that.
Yep. That's, I mean, you know, remember, you know, riding on the edge of the pickup bed truck, not in the bed.
Yeah.
You sat on the side. And me and my brothers, we used to lean out like this off the back of it and reach out and try to grab those Johnson grass tops.
Y'all weren't very smart, were you?
Yeah, we get up all these cuts in our hands. But did our parents go, oh my gosh, sit down in the bed and hold? And it was like, I mean, my dad was like, yeah, he was like, if you fall out, you won't fall out a second time.
Yeah. Are you bleeding?
Yeah.
Get up and get in.
And if I was bleeding, he'd be, well, you were dumb enough to hang out the truck. You ought to be bleeding. Get back in the truck and come on. Or hell, he might have made me walk home from there. You know, you're the one who fell out of the truck. You're the one who fell out of the truck. Bat and bend it home, buddy.
That's right.
But did you see, man, and Tom Osborne? Well, he looked, I mean, I guess he's healthy, but man, he looked bad. He looked old. I don't want to say he looked bad, but
Well, he's 80 something, right?
yeah,
He's a year older than the king.
yeah, but the king looks old.
King
but
looks like he can still whip your ass.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Or the king looks like he's packing inside that coat, and that if you try to whoop his ass, he's just going to pull it and put you down right there.
I think he can still whoop your ass.
Yeah, probably. Well, let's talk a little bit. Let's look at what's coming up with the old Kansas State. Yeah, I kind of looked at Tulane. They haven't really beat anybody, but Tulane, it's pretty good. I mean, they're they're now 3-0.
Reno, yep.
But
I'm gonna just tell you, the quarterback they got from Nebraska, he's just not very good. Taylor Martinez, is that his name?
For Kansas State,
Yeah, he's not very good.
I don't think it's Taylor. It's A. Martinez.
Adrian. Yo, Adrian.
Yo, Adrian. Let me see here. Let me find them. Adrian Martinez, 21 to 31, 150 yards. But Tulane comes in and puts up 336 yards. There's something you don't see every day. 336 yards, Tulane.
Oh, you remember that quarterback? He torched us for a little bit last year. He's pretty good. I think his name's Pratt.
But Tulane had 336 total yards, and so did Kansas State. They both had 336 yards.
Wow.
Kansas State had 186 yards rushing and 150 yards passing, 21 to 31. They averaged 4.4 yards a carry. They let Tulane rush for 4 yards a carry and 6 yards per pass. If they do that with us, we're going to torch them. I mean,
I hope we will not let them, pass for, have that many total yards on us.
Yeah.
Stranger things have happened, right?
Yeah. And, I mean, Coach Kleiman has he had Lincoln's number and had Oklahoma's defense's number, had it takes his name now. Grinch. Had Grinch's number, knew how to scheme against it pretty well. Don't think he's seen a defense like what he's fixing to see with Oklahoma.
No, they haven't played anybody with as good a defense as we have right now.
Yeah. And I'm talking even in the last couple of years. I mean, he's looking at this going, yikes. I think everybody looking at the film with Oklahoma right now is going, oof. Because it's our defense now is predicated on physical, physical and speed. But this quote speed D, was we're just going to run you down. This is we're going to keep everything in front of us and we're going to put you down.
And we're coming after the quarterback.
Yeah.
Just FYI, we're coming after you.
Somebody asked Venables, about that first drive. He said, he said you were rushing 3. Was there a reason why you rushed 3? And I'm like, do you think he's going to go no? So a reason why you're rushing 3 made sense. He's like, well, on tape, snap the ball, hit the quarterback's hands, it was out. Why are we going to waste? We're not going to waste 4 or 5 guys. And he goes, after that first drive, we saw he's not getting rid of the ball that fast. So there's no reason to do that anymore. So we started, rushing a 4th and 5th guy, and boom.
Well, honestly, that first drive, he had it out of his hands pretty quick.
Pretty quick. He goes, we're not going to waste a guy. We're not going to waste a guy putting him up there that he can't get to him. But when we evaluated it through the game, it was like, okay, it's not that quick. We can get to him. So let's start getting to him. And man, that's what I love about this defense, man. When they come after you, they get you. I mean, and it's a mob mentality. It's not one guy gets through there. It's like they all show up.
Yeah, because they're doubling up on some of the interior guys.
Yeah.
So the cheetah's going to get there, or one of those linebackers is going to come in, or we're going to do a cornerback blitz, and he's going to get there. So that's what happens when you double down on the tackles.
I was watching somebody informed Venables wasn't quite sure of the rule. He goes, I'm going to have to look at it. It goes, but Deshaun White, out, he missed the second half and connect and and they said, well, he's out for a half. So he went out in the first half. So he'll be available next week. And Venables was like, he will? Whew, good. Thanks for letting me know that.
Yeah, he will.
Sure. Yeah, he only has to sit out a half. And that was just, I mean, it was flagrant. That was just a dumb play on his part. You know what I mean?
I mean, he's just playing football.
Yeah. And and you could tell when when it was done, he knew. I mean, but it wasn't like he dove in, but he came in, and right at the last second, but you put the crown down, they're going to throw a flag and you're going to be out of the game. But
I keep that head up.
yeah,
Things have changed, haven't they, Terry?
no,
Because I promise you, back in the day,
yeah.
I was trying to hit you, boy.
Whoa. Well, you remember, as little as 10 years ago when those helmet to helmet, elevated safeties coming through at the, that level and hitting helmet to helmet and knocking each other out.
Yeah.
It's, you can't do that no more, but I mean, when I saw it, I was like, yep, oh, he's gone. And then Connect comes in and they run the Sooners run the exact same blitz. That's pretty like we're going to do it again with a freshman on you.
Yeah. And honestly, the only thing that he has on Connect is just a little bit of experience.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because Connect is bringing some athleticism and
yeah.
speed,
I mean, that's
right?
That's truly, I think, he's running off just pure athletic ability. And it's like Venable said, he don't know what he's doing out there. He's running, but he's and that's what I mean. He's like, and he goes, he was, he did good, and he goes, but we're going to evaluate tape. He's going to be hard on himself because he's going to see where he was out of position. That's going to make his job easier in the future. So
yeah, I'm glad he got the opportunity to go in, to be honest with you, because that's the best way to learn.
Oh yeah, get that game experience.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's look at the Wildcats. They got Adrian Martinez. He's 41 of 66 on the year, 304 yards, 62% completion average. Dang, Deuce Vaughn. How long has he been there?
22 years.
I mean, that's
2 semesters.
Deuce Vaughn, 62 yards for 62 carries, 352 yards, 5.7 average.
My opinion, we shut him down and we shut Kansas State down.
Yeah. And I swear Deuce Vaughn and Malik Knowles have been at Kansas State, like you said, 17 years. But look at, I mean, there's nothing about any of their stats that are overwhelming. You know what I mean?
No, and they haven't really played.
Yeah,
great. Have they? I can't remember who they played. But.
I don't think. I mean, see, they played South Dakota, won 34-0. They played Missouri, beat the hell out of Missouri, 40-12.
Yeah, Missouri's not any good.
Yeah, Missouri's not any good. Lost to Tulane. So, and even, I mean, against Missouri, Martinez had 101 yards passing. Vaughn had 145 yards rushing.
Yeah.
So
if we hold Deuce Vaughn under that, we're going to beat them.
Yeah. And, the third sign of the apocalypse, it's at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock kick.
I don't think have we had a 7 o'clock kick in a while. Most of them have been 6, but I guess we're the prime time game. And you know what they're doing?
We're gonna get 18 in before that all takes place.
You see what they're doing at 3:30?
Oh yeah, we got to be there for that.
Oh yeah, it's right across the street from us.
The Selman statue.
Yeah, the Selman statue. I think that, in my opinion, that is the greatest recognition that the University of Oklahoma has ever bestowed upon anybody. And I'm being dead serious. So those guys,
it's the 3 of them, right?
Yeah, it's all 3 of them. Those guys said, from Oklahoma, from Eufaula, sons of sharecroppers, but what they did for the state of Oklahoma and how they represented the state and just how dominant those guys were. Oh my God. I mean, it's I think it's well overdue. well overdue for them to do something, but it's going to be right there, right by, pretty close to where we're at, across Brooks there. And the Selman,
It's on Heisman Road, but it's
yeah,
down
it's just north. Yeah, it's about a half a block north of there, kind of in a little tree cove, right outside of a little tree cove.
It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be big too, so that's good. It needs to be big.
And but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. But that's going to happen at 3:30, so we're going to be packed around at the tailgate, and there's nothing going on. I've already told Teresa's like, yeah, we're not doing a all day long tailgate again. I almost died last week, not during or after the game, but after that weekend. I was in I felt like on a Tuesday morning somebody had whipped me with a wet noodle. I was
you had to spend a lot of time in recovery mode on that
one. But yeah, I think we'll probably set up about 2:00. That's only reason that early is I was thinking about 3, but with the statue unveiling happening at 3:30, we got to be there a little bit earlier than that. But
and we could probably set up the tents and stuff Friday night.
Yeah, we'll probably do that, and because I'm thinking like you, we can probably get 18 holes in Saturday morning. Me and Randy on this past Saturday, yesterday, if we had a cart, our carts at our course are like horribly slow. Okay, I swear to God, we could have walked faster than this cart was going. It was going up a hill. It kicked. But we played 9 holes. We teed off it, and we were behind 2 guys. The first 2 that we got to play through. Well, we played 9 holes by 9:15.
Wow.
And it was a nice pace. It wasn't like too fast. We kind of had to wait on a couple holes, and then they were in front of us. They jumped. We were supposed to be the first tee off, but they jumped in front of us. But we played, an hour and 15 minutes, 9 holes. So we ended up playing, then we played 10, 11, 12, and 18. So, and we were done by 9:45. So, just wasn't anybody out on the course. So, but yeah, we need to look if we want to jump out there, and if we can get at 8:00, we can be done by 11.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we have to play speed Randy golf.
Yeah. And what that means, guys, is Randy, who is a really good golfer, scratch golfer. Yes. We will be on a hole and we will finish putting. We will look over and Randy's walked to the next tee box, and we're still walking to our cars.
Waiting on us.
Waiting on us. And he may not even wait. He might tee off before we pull up.
It's possible.
But it's going to be a big night. It's going to be a big night for the Sooners. It's going to be a big night with the fans. Get to see the flashing lights and all that fun stuff again. And also, did you hear what the SC crowd or student section or something was chanting Saturday night? We want Georgia.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, they don't play anybody tough all year. So
no, I think they got Oregon State next week on the road, and then they got Utah, I think, on the road the following week. So, the sad part is like I said, his offense it's good enough to just barrel through that conference. The sad part is there. He's going to get all this recognition again and do the same thing he did at Oklahoma. He's not going to have a defense to do anything.
No.
And
I mean, right now, all they got is Kid Williams.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I wish it, but if he goes down, they're going to lose to everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's going to be gone. He's probably going to be gone after this year. I mean, as good as he's doing, they're going to, and then, there's no guarantee that number 1 quarterback is going to go there, because like we've said, there's there's players that are upset. And
well, his other option, that quarterback's other option is A&M.
yeah.
So he's probably going there.
Yeah, well, you never know. I mean, another one could jump in.
Hey, that reminds me of game day. Did you see that sign from Appy State? That at Texas A&M up there, and it said Texas average and mediocre. That was good. Appy State was rubbing it in hard.
Oh yeah, they should. I mean, especially well, and I guess the yell, the Friday night yell deal, they were like very proper. They
weren't making fun of.
Yeah, they weren't making fun. Miami. We're going to support our team. Let's all be there. Da, da, da. They weren't, doing that little stupid march and,
Well, I mean, the only thing that I could sympathize with that one guy when they were making fun of App State was I did not know where it was at.
Yeah.
But I seen
Jersey Bill.
Jersey Bill.
South Jersey
Bill. Sorry. South Jersey Bill told me it was somewhere I forgot already. But.
Boone, South Carolina.
So yeah, okay, that's it.
North Carolina. I know it's Boone somewhere. I really think, I've already forgotten where it's at other than Boone. And the only reason why that sticks in my head is because Daniel Boone.
Oh,
the old, do you remember, did you ever watch the old Daniel Boone on TV?
I think that was before my time.
Oh, right. Okay. Then you wouldn't know who played Daniel Boone. Bess Parker. And I remember he was from Oklahoma. I may be wrong on that, but all right. Well, I think that we'll do another podcast, guys, probably this week. We'll look a little more into the Kansas State Wildcats and Coach Kleiman and his Kansas State Wildcats. And we'll kind of see what's happening on the Twitter world this week as far as everybody's pretty happy right now. Fans are happy.
They should be.
They should be. Oklahoma is an educated fan base. And, last year we were grumpy and a lot of people are like, why are y'all grumpy? You're 3-0, 4-0. We're like, it ain't right. There's something
right. Almost losing to Kansas and almost losing to Tulane, almost losing to Nebraska.
Something ain't stirring the Kool-Aid, Ace. Something's wrong.
Right.
But we're sitting here now. The issue is like, we're good. We're really good. I don't want to get too excited yet. You know
what I'm getting more excited about is, I think we're really good, but I think we're going to get a lot better.
Oh, I do too. I think that's what when it comes championship November, this team is going to be championship caliber because that's how they're being coached. It's not, you're not a champion today. You don't need, but by the time that championship comes, you will be ready. You're going to be ready every week. And that's going to prepare you at the end of the season to be championship ready, and it's that 1 day mentality, 1 week mentality. And did you hear Venables? He was like that, they had trouble getting to the stadium. Apparently there was a, glitch and they were an hour away and got caught in traffic. So I don't know what all happened. But he's like, oh man, that was great. He goes, we got a stadium, had to put our clothes on, go play.
I love it.
Yeah, it was like, I guess they showed up, they had to run in and get stuff in and went out, and he goes, I loved it. The players were like, oh yeah, there was no downtime. We got off the bus, got our pads on, went and played. So I love that guy more and more every day. Yep. All right, guys, that's the podcast. Thanks for listening. Follow us on the Twitters here, subscribe wherever you're listening at, or if you're watching us, subscribe right there on the YouTube. But that's it. That's the podcast. We'll see you later on this week. Boomer up.
Sooner, Terry.
Hey, hold on. Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry.